Welcome to Stargates Beckon, the space where Stargates open and empower you. And whether you're feeling lost in 3D density, wandering a bit off track, or already walking steadfast in your purpose, you remember your starseed birthright and step even more fully into your greatness. In each episode, we speak honestly to the real struggles, blind spots, and triumphs we face on this earth journey as starseeds. We'll be calling you forward into your greater sovereignty, joy, and activation. We'll explore daily choices to amplify your light quotient and offer codes to uplift your flight through your personal stargates with clarity and power. I'm your host, Purusha Radha, and I'm so glad the Stargates have beckoned you here today. Episode 1, From Emotional Chaos to Sovereign Starseed, My Personal Stargate Journey. If you've ever felt on an emotional merry-go-round, if you've ever wondered why your spiritual path sometimes feels harder, not easier, you're not broken, you're not behind. You might just be exactly where a true starseed begins to blossom. Today I'm going to share my own very personal story, not because I'm special, but because I am exactly like you. And I suspect many parts of my story will feel strangely familiar. My hope is that as you listen, something inside you will stir and say, yes, that's me too, I understand, I resonate with that. I, like most everyone else, was raised in a highly dysfunctional household. Starseeds are not immune to this. In many ways, we seem to experience it even more intensely so we can learn to transmute it. My parents were both alcoholics. They tried on and off to get sober, but both ultimately died from the disease. That family environment left me emotionally unstable, highly reactive, twirling on an emotional merry-go-round just about every single day, and it gets exhausting. Besides that, in the starseed, something begins to stir within you, something other that indicates you need to, in fact, really desire to make a shift. I remember one desperate moment as a young adult when I literally said out loud, "There's got to be more to life than this." I was looking around at my 3D life and I just knew there was so much more and I wanted it. And the moment I asked, the answers started flowing in. I left the Catholic Church. It no longer made sense to me. That was my first, smartest step. I learned to meditate, badly at first, and through a series of beautiful synchronicities, I met a woman named Barbara who became my way-shower, healer, and dear friend. And one night, after our group meditation, she played a video that changed everything. Video, yes, that dates me. A young man in his 30s was oracling a transcendent Pleiadian master goddess from the 18th dimension. Her name was Goddess Dove Ree. The moment she entered his body and spoke, I felt it in every cell of my being. This was the voice I'd been waiting for my whole life. She called us her seeds. For years, I walked the spiritual highway under the dove's wing. The teachings she presented were extremely high velocity and profoundly healing. She would call them reminders, for we knew, as you know, everything already. It's all stored within our beings, in our blood, our bones, and our chakra seals. We had an awful lot of healing of ourselves to do at the outset. For a few years, in fact. Most of us were emotionally unstable. We were missing the fundamental ingredients we needed to be harmonious with ourselves and with each other, love and acceptance. This sort of brokenness, these unhealed aspects of ourselves bled into a group drama that intensified over time. If any of this sounds familiar, if you've ever felt trapped in old patterns or even a spiritual structure that started to feel like another cage, you're not alone, and it's not a failure that you were involved in it. It's often part of the homeopathic healing we simply have to go through. What looked like falling apart at the time, I didn't realize it at the time, it was actually a process of homeopathic healing. In a classic homeopathic healing response, symptoms get worse before they get better. In fact, they often get intensely worse before better. Through it all, our Divine Mother never coddled us. She allowed us our lessons just like good and wise parents do. I still remember standing before her in tears one day, struggling to get my question out among all the tears and sobbing. She answered me with love, and then gently had her oracle's assistant usher me away. She wasn't going to engage in a pity party. She protected her frequency. Besides, pitying and coddling me wouldn't truly help me. But that moment where she had the assistant take me off to the side shocked me. I've contemplated it all my life since then. It's become one of the most important lessons of my entire Starseed journey. Remember, I said, she protected her frequency. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 1, she protected her frequency. We must protect our own frequencies. Also the fact that I was no victim, and she was getting that across to me in a really potent way. Goddess Dove gave us our foundation, as all parents do. Now I can say I live none of that old helter-skelter way. I live mostly in serenity and in evenness of emotion, the fertile soil for a wondrous psychomystical path and life. One day came when Ree stepped back to a great degree, leaving her oracle to provide guidance and direction for the most part for the rest of us. In hindsight, I can see this too is what a grand and wise mother does. She allowed us our lessons and our fantasies so we would grow. Her oracle relied heavily on people around him, a sort of good cop, bad cop situation. My group was a sort of satellite pod. There were a number of them around the country, if not the world. The oracle did his best from afar, which I think is why he needed helpers. Plus, he was in a human body. He wasn't exactly quite like Goddess Dove Ree, who was actually a disembodied entity from the 18th dimension. She was perfect, a divine mother. Anyway, we were guided to create a formal leadership structure in our pod, and at this time is when things started going awry. We created too much structure, I would say to the point of dogma. The main thing Goddess Dove always told us, always reminded us, urged us to stay away from. Many years in, I felt like I might as well be going to church, which was originally the thing I was running away from. I'd simply exchanged my Catholic dogmatic upbringing for another dogma. You have to be careful of that when you make changes in your life. Make sure they're really and truly changes, because certain frequencies are known to you and in a weird way comfortable, so you keep repeating them, thinking you're making an actual change, but they're just having a different face. Do you recognize ways in which you've done that in your life? Perhaps ways you're doing it right now. For this and other reasons, all ego-based, our numbers dwindled from many hundred to, by the time I left, there were maybe approximately 20 people. All souls want and need to feel free to express and be themselves, especially starseeds. Many of us left of our own volition. Many were cast out, shunned, in order to preserve the energy of the group. This is what the group felt. This is what the core group felt. When a group of starseed souls, or even one starseed soul, aren't solid in their own sovereign nature, strength, and power, they can feel threatened by other energies they perceive, often rightly so, to be dangerous, harmful, or damaging. And so, like a religion, we cast our people out. In my consciousness of now, the here and now, I see how we were all just going through certain struggles and merely needed to be loved and accepted as we worked our way through them. Starseeds, truly in their hearts, souls, and their power, would have no need to cast anyone out. Have you ever found yourself in a group or situation where fear of leaving kept you stuck in it? I see now how that fear was just programming, and breaking free from it opened doors I never imagined would open. At some point, my soul began to long for and signal an imperative need for freedom. When I finally left, after 3 attempts to do so, but higher-ups close to the oracle kept reeling me back, and a 90-day hiatus from the group severed me. I felt 2 things at once, exhilarated and terrified. We were constantly told we'd be doomed if we ever walked away, not by our Divine Mother, who, remember, had largely retreated into the background to allow us our lessons. But something miraculous happened instead. My life began to blossom, and I mean blossom, like a lotus flower. I learned to stand on my own 2 feet, spiritually and psychomystically. Like a majestic eagle, I felt my massive wings gradually unfurl. I developed my own direct line to the higher realms, 24/7 communion, no oracle in the middle. I remembered how to consciously travel through time, space, and dimensions, and I finally realized that the reality I lived with my spiritual family and Divine Mother was one of a myriad of potential realities from which I rather unconsciously chose at the outset of my path. You see, countless realities exist simultaneously, all timelines nested within each other, something like the petals of a rose. From the point of consciousness with which I entered my starseed path all those years ago, and it was low, I had aligned with this particular way that my starseed journey could unfold. Thus the drama, pain, dogma. But along with it, a lot of beautiful. In truth, I could choose from a near infinite number of expressions of my starseed journey with my Divine Mother and spiritual family, but I didn't know it at the time, and this was what my consciousness aligned with. Here is one of the biggest gifts I can share with you. We can only manifest realities that match our current level of consciousness. The beautiful news? You can raise your consciousness and choose again. Do you see the lesson here? How we can only manifest realities that align with our consciousness of the moment. Frequency lived is frequency actualized. Every struggle, every time you feel lost or off track, every discouraging time you question whether you're really a starseed, all of it is preparing fertile soil for your greatness to bloom. The choices you make today in your daily life are alignments with potential realities. Choices in your relationships, your body, your thoughts, they're literally coding the reality you will step into tomorrow or the very near future. I offer you this gentle invitation for this week. Notice one place where you still carry an old programmed fear or a loop that in your soul no longer feels really and truly you. Ask yourself softly and kindly, what higher reality am I ready to choose instead? Remember, there are myriad realities to pick from, so choose high. That single question itself is a stargate of light. Step through it. You came here to this podcast for this remembrance, Starseed. I'm merely here to remind you, as someone I know intimately did for me. Your wings, too, are ready to unfurl. You are no greater and no lesser than any of the masters who have ever walked this earth. You are simply in the beautiful process of remembering, and sometimes your eyes deceive you of the truth about yourself. This week, as you notice any old loops, remember, you're not fixing anything that's broken or wrong. You're simply opting for the exciting choice of a higher reality that already exists for you. If this episode has stirred something deep within you, I would love to stay in touch. Join my Starseed Circle, won't you, for weekly insights, direct transmissions, and a connection that truly sees you. Find the link to my site, stargatesbeckon.com, in the show notes. Thank you for traveling to Stargate with me today. We'll connect again in the next episode or by email when you subscribe at my site. By the way, feel free to email any questions about your Starseed life to stargatesbeckon@proton.me. Until then, live the frequency you wish to become. Intend it, declare it, embrace it. So be it.